Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters challenge. I see the daylight is arriving there, 5:40 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Wanted to start 10 minutes earlier, wasn't able to do that, unfortunately. The Grants is the whiskey at hand, so to speak. I've been challenging it against everybody else that I've got, and it's been losing consistently. Tied once. One time it tied, couldn't tell them apart. A couple of times I wasn't paying attention and poured it in the wrong glass. Foolish of me. I got the labels, but you could tell it apart. It's got that harsh grain. To me, it's just a harsh grain whiskey flavor. Now, James P. Madonna likes it, and he bragged on it and everything, so I bought it. Wanted to see what it's like. I don't like it at all. On the other hand, different people like different things. Grant's is fairly popular. So somebody likes it. Maybe they like that abrasive, harsh grain whiskey flavor. I don't know. I assume they do. Well, why would they buy it? Good morning, Anonymous Coward. Good morning, he says to me, and I say good morning back to you. Now, the competitor, so Grant's been on the market since 1887, 133 years. Used to be called Grant's Family Reserve, which didn't really make a whole lot of sense because it wasn't reserved for their family. Some of these liquor companies have their own private recipes that they drink in-house, but the public can't buy. So they changed the name to Grant's Triple Wood. Now that makes more sense because they treat it with 3 different types of wood. And it's supposed to make it taste so wonderful. Well, to me, it's not really helping it. Maybe they need to treat it with 12 different woods. I don't know. 5 different woods. I don't know. It's just inexpensive. If you want to say cheap. $15.99 for a regular size bottle. Now here's the competitor. Johnnie Walker Blue Label. This is the blue label. Most places around here sell it. Not Walmart. I guess Winn-Dixie does. I'm not sure. Mathern's has it. Rouse's has it. Dorgnac's, International Market. I didn't see it at Total Wine & More, but I may have overlooked it. But, you know, it's common. The price is high. I'll be right back. Hold on. Let me come right back. The price is high. I mean, to pay $242 after tax, I don't know. That's not a good price. Now in California, it's only $175 a bottle. Huh? Only $175. I paid $226. Rouse's, they're crazy, in my opinion. They have good prices on some things, but $299 plus tax, $299 plus tax. I don't know who would buy it. It wouldn't be me. Okay, that's the other whiskey. And this says Grant's. Okay, so I got on it. Grant's. Well, it's glare. You can't, well, you can maybe make it out. But I'm not cheating, all right? I mean, who would do that? Like, who would come on the internet and do a taste challenge and cheat? I guess some crackpots might. I wouldn't. Get strange people on social media, internet, YouTube, Facebook. What did somebody say? Facebook is where the schizophrenics come out to play. It makes you wonder. And then, you know, social media, you get the bullies. You know, they want to bully everybody. I'm going to show you. I'll call you names and push you around because I'm a tough guy. But you're on the internet. Come do it in public, you know. Come do it personally. But I'm not. I'll turn the other cheek, I guess, you know, more or less. I don't do as good a job as I should, but I try, you know, just can't worry about bad people, really, is what it is. Anyway, so there's the blue label. It's got this foil cap. And it's got this little rope. It's like really, it's like a braided rope with 2 colors, gold and blue. It's got the little established 1820 medallion on it with the striding man. Metal, not plastic. Cap's plastic though. Cork is wood. 1820. No, there was not a whiskey company called Johnnie Walker in 1820. You know what? I'm gonna hydrate that cork. It's getting dry. It's gonna get dry rotted. I didn't know about corks getting dry rotted until I opened that bottle of Wild Turkey from 1983. 8-year age, 1975 to 83, and that cork just broke off and fell into the whiskey. I had to strain the stuff, but I didn't realize you could turn it upside down and get it wet, and it would soak up the juice. The juice, you know what I'm saying? And not dry rot. Well, I didn't know, so now I know. Oh, yeah, there you go. See, so it's gonna do a little better like that. Corks are good, but then they can be bad. All right. So there's the blue. Make sure I got the other. I'm traumatized now from getting them mixed up. Okay. I'm gonna let that set for a little while. So I got it upside down so the whiskey will soak into the wood. So there's that foil label. I don't think I'd be buying Johnnie Walker too much. I really wouldn't be buying Grants too much, like, you know, never in my life. Again, I'm not paying $21.99 for that big bottle. Yeah, you get a lot of whiskey, you know, big deal. Just think if it tasted good. Now I paid $5, you know, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 for a huge handle bottle. That's pretty even. Now the blue label's darker, you see. More deep gold. This is just like gold. Deep gold. Gold. Now that's an unusually low price. They had the Caliber Canadian blended whiskey. Caliber Canadian blended whiskey. I bought one for John. Then I forgot to bring it to him, John and Nilly. I was like, man. As soon as I got to Georgia and I looked, I said, yeah, I got the whiskey, fool. I was just calling myself names. I was so irritated, but I'm so absent-minded, you know. He said, well, the next time I come to Louisiana, I'll get it. I said, okay. But $5, yeah, it's usually 10 or 11, but 10 or 11, but I got it for $5. Why? Well, because Rouse has had it on closeout. I said 2 handle bottles of Canadian whiskey for $10. Heck, even if it's bad, I'll buy it. But you know what? Caliber isn't bad. It's way better than Grant's. You say, but that's Canadian. This is Scotch. Yeah, I know. I'm well aware. I'm not going by style right now. I'm just talking about the quality of the product. Forget the style or the country of origin. It's just that the Canadian one is way better. They're both Commonwealth countries. Scotland and Canada are both Commonwealth realms. Well, Scotland's part of Great Britain, but you know what I'm saying, the United Kingdom, Commonwealth realms. They have the same leader, Queen Elizabeth. Not the same country. Same head of state, not the same country. Weird, huh? Well, Puerto Rico and the United States of America got the same president, Donald Trump. Of course, Puerto Rico is a Commonwealth. Well, it's a Commonwealth. It's not a sovereign. It's not an independent country. It's semi-independent. By choice. They don't want to break away because they get a great deal. They don't have to pay federal income tax, but they get all this free stuff from Uncle Sugar. Sound like somebody's getting ripped off, and I don't think it's Puerto Rico. Okay, cheers, Ron, says Dr. Frosty Brew. You say, well, let them go independent, then we won't have to give them all this free stuff. No, it wouldn't. That wouldn't matter. They got independent countries all around the world. U.S. gives them money because that's how you get friends. You buy them, right? Wrong. You say, you're thinking too much. You're using too much what they call logic. I'm not Uncle Sugar. I don't believe that you could buy friends. You might buy some contempt. But that's the government up there. You know, that's their attitude. It's a worthless approach. But anyway, why nitpick? So So these are both from the Kingdom of Scotland. And if you know anything about the Kingdom of Scotland, their king became the King of England. That's right. England ran out of kings. You say, how do you run out of kings? You just do. They ran out. Meaning they didn't have any children. None of the kings or queens had chillins. So y'all telling chillins come inside. So but Queen Elizabeth, who died, did have a first cousin once removed. In other words, her first cousin's child, who was King James VI of the House of Stuart in Scotland. So by the law of heredity, he was next in line. So they asked him, hey, would you like to become the King of England as well as the King of Scotland? He said, sure, why not? So he became the king of two different countries at once, James VI of Scotland and James I of England. So they got two different numbers because he was the sixth number 6 James and the number 1 James in England. Then his son was James II of England. Oh, I'm sorry, Charles I of England, and I don't know the number in Scotland. It might have been number 1 also. And then James II, and then James VII. But anyway, you say this is a history lesson or a whiskey? All right, Anonymous Coward says, interesting. Yes. And so the one they got now, Queen Elizabeth II, she descended from them. That was her great, way back, grandparents. But anyway, but the numbers wouldn't mismatch in England and Canada because Canada came from England, you see, and Scotland contemporaneously. So Queen Elizabeth is number 2 Queen Elizabeth in England and number 2 in Canada. You get it? Makes sense. All right. This smells pungent, grain. Just smells like distilled and then fermented grain. It just smells like whiskey. It's neither good. It's good. It's a good smell. It's not like wonderful, like, oh man, I can't get over it. It's so fabulous. I just can't deal with it. No, you ever smell a bowl of grits? There, you're on the right road. Yeah, no salt added. Okay. This smells harsh, kind of glumpy, you know what I mean? Kind of rough cut, unrefined, kind of Granty-ish, Grantian. Yowza, not so great. No age statement. Now, when I put circa 1992 for Blue Label, that's because I don't know exactly when Johnnie Walker Blue Label hit the market. Some people claim it was 1992. They're probably right. Right? But if you look at the Johnnie Walker website, they say is, and then in the early 90s, Johnnie Walker Blue Label was introduced. Well, the early 90s would be what? 90, 91, and 92. So it's probably correct, but I don't like to be definitive if I don't have definitive information. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is Johnnie Walker Blue Label because it's got smokiness in the nose now coming into play as I'm swishing it and swirling it and twirling it. Maxwell from Russia. Hey, Maxwell, peace to you and sunshine. Yeah, it's coming out. It was raining last night like craziness. It's clear right now, but it won't last. That's all right. Summertime, same story every day, pretty much. Okay, so I already know what it is. Johnnie Walker, and this is Grant's. In fact, I'm going to call it before I smell it. I'm that confident. If this says Grant's, I'm going to feel like a fool. But it doesn't say Grant's, so I'm not feeling like a fool. I mean, I just knew. You could tell on good morning, Daryl. Daryl said good morning to me. So cheers to y'all. Here we go. This is a joke, really. Where do you start? It's rich. It's savory. It's smoky. It's peaty. It's not harsh grain. It's balanced. It's like the most balanced scotch I ever had. It tastes good. It's got everything going for it. What are the downsides? I don't know. I guess if you don't like whiskey, it could be a downside. You could say, I don't care how much it costs. I don't like whiskey because it's nasty to me. Well, yeah, well, that would make sense, wouldn't it? But otherwise, I mean, it's awesome. Is it worth the $242? Well, probably not, but I'd have never tried it if I wouldn't have bought it because I wasn't expecting anybody to buy it for me. Does it beat all the rest I've had by a wide and profound margin? Now, my friend David tried and gave it a B. You saw my face looking at him like, are you crazy? But that's the way he called it. I don't understand that, but I don't have to understand it. I don't need to understand. He always tells me, don't you say call it as you see it? I do say that. But I don't know, man. Some things I just don't understand. Like we were looking at pictures of Linda Ronstadt on Rock and Roll Club from back in the 70s. And everybody was like, whoa, wow, man, golly. Now you might say, oh, some men didn't like Linda Ronstadt, her looks. I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't like her voice. It's so good, you know. Maybe her music you don't like because it's like standardized, whatever. But you say, I want avant-garde music. Well, okay, fine. But you might say, well, you said call it as you see it. And I was around in 1978 and I did not like Linda Ronstadt's looks, and I was neither attracted to her. I was not attracted to her. And I would say, well, coming from you, I believe that. But you know, that could be a situation that you had different interests, so to speak. But you understand, so, but if you just had a standardized, regular thinking toward this, and you say, well, I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into this, you know, but I would love to be drinking Johnnie Walker Blue Label this morning. Same here, says Jason Schumacher. Thank you. Yeah, so the whole Linda Ronstadt thing is a comparative thought progression thing that I'm doing. I mean, yeah, drink the Johnnie Walker Blue Label and give me your assessment, and I'll accept it. But to say, oh, it's a B, it's okay, then I'm gonna think, what are you talking about? Do you like Scotch whiskey? Or I don't get it. That's all. I don't care. I mean, I let the man try it that one time. He said B. I was even teasing with him. I said, somebody observed the video and they said, you poured a double shot. And he laughed. I said, yeah, you know what you did. He may as well have, because he knew it wasn't going to be a second go around. But to give it a B, I mean, I just don't. But I start off with just an A. What did I say? It's just an A. You say, A, that's good. Yeah, I know, but you can get a lot of A products that don't cost $242. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about the Blue Label, on its own, it just tastes. Now, this could be where David got confused. I say confused. On its own, it's just like not that outstanding on its own. And maybe that could be some kind of cognitive dissonance situation. But when you, in my experience, when I started to put it into taste challenges, that's where it just destroyed the competition. And I think the Linda Ronstadt thing is apt. And then the maybe like a boxer, you might watch this person in the ring practicing and say, he's not that great. His technique is not that good. What are y'all talking about? This guy is not that good. He's okay. Or he's good. He's just not that good. But then in competition, he dominates. And you don't even know why, but it's so clear, you know. And that's how this Johnnie Walker Blue Label is. In competition, it just dominates. It dominates. It's smoky, rich, savory. It's, I don't know how you even describe it. I'm gonna try to, but I'm about to get off the air. But Grant's, it just has none of these qualities. No smokiness, no peatiness. It's sweet corn syrup, like that's what it tastes like. And it's harsh, it's grating, it's just rough. And maybe people who like it are macho and like very androgen type people, and they're saying, hoorah, you know, and they're telling me, what is your major malfunction? Grant's is a man's whiskey. And I would say, sir, yes, sir, I just don't like it, sir. You know, going back to the good stuff. Johnnie Walker Blue Label. Yeah, masochist. 242. Nice. Same. All right. So, yeah. Yeah, but you can't live forever, though. And what am I do? Go die and then they're going to bury me with money? That's going to do me a lot of good, right? You say, no, your descendants, your children will take it and spend it. Exactly. And I'm not greedy for that. On the other hand, if I got the money and I got the opportunity, I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going for it because, and I'm not wasteful. I don't waste money, but I don't buy this stuff on credit. Don't take this the wrong way. Like, man, you're putting yourself in debt. You're buying all this stuff. Now you got to pay it all back later. You know, you better listen to Dave Ramsey or whatever. Hey, well, what are you talking about? I didn't buy this stuff on a credit card. I mean, I did buy it on a credit card because it was convenient, but I mean, I already had the money. I just paid it back, you know, once the what you call it, the transaction, what they call it, posted, it gets posted in the account and then it shows. I don't have any debt. I don't have any credit card debt. They call me on the phone. They don't ever do that anymore. They used to call me up and say, would you like to consolidate all your credit card debt on this one card? I said, I don't have any credit card debt. And one lady, and there was a guy from, I don't know what company, Bank of America. He was like, wow, that's impressive. I said, yeah, I don't have any credit card debt. I don't have a house note. I paid my house off. That's what I did. I'm not bragging on it. I just did it. I paid it off 15 years ago. I don't have a house note. So when you're not paying rent, you know, when you don't pay rent and you don't pay a house note, you got a lot of liquidity, even with a low income. You know, I know people make lots of money, 150,000 a year, more than that. Got no money though. They make a lot, but they've got nothing. Why is that? It's all sucked up into a debt, house note, car note. They have extravagant things that they buy, and they buy clothes all the time, but they have no money. They're always stressed out, like working themselves to death, like to the grind, to the grind, to the grind. And you say, well, because they're rich. They're rich. If you're, guess what? I told a student in class one time, in class, psychology class, he said, we're rich, his family. I said, your family's rich? I don't know why he was going to a public school. I didn't tell him he was wrong. I just, let me ask you a question. Does your family pay house note, car note? Yeah. I said, well, then they're not rich. I said, you know what? Rich people don't pay notes. They buy everything with cash. You know why? Because they're rich. If you pay notes, you're not wealthy. Wealthy people don't pay notes. They buy it. Anyway, enough philosophy, you know. I'm not rich, but I made no claims to that effect. Anyway, this whiskey's great. You could say, in a way, it is worth the money, because you say, well, you'll probably try Scotch whiskeys in the future that'll be better than that. It's possible. Possible. This is so smoky. So smoky. Now, I get people, let's say, try single malt. Try this single malt, which I'm not against single malt. I'm not an anti-single maltite. I'll drink a single malt here, there, everywhere. Got one in the cabinet. I posted one today. Or was it yesterday? Today. I liked it. Gave it a high score, but it doesn't have the rich smokiness here. This is like drinking pork roast. Like you took a pork roast and you smoked it on a smoker for 3 days. It's that depth of smoke. It's unbelievable. Now, if you don't like smoke, run from this. It'll just drive you away. Like Lou Reed said, new wave French movies, they just drive me away. And he said, I know, maybe I'm dumb because I know I ain't smart, but deep down inside, I got a rock and roll heart. So I think it's great. I think it's fabulous. It's the best Scotch I ever tried, which doesn't mean much because I hadn't tried that many Scotches. But boy, it's a winner. It is a winner, 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 like yodeling echo. All right, so if you want to call this a contest, go ahead, but it wasn't any kind of challenge. Now, later today, let's say in about 4 hours, I'm going to do the last taste challenge with Grant's, thank goodness. Look, I haven't been suffering with Grant's, but I hadn't been enjoying it neither. And I'll be so delighted when it's over. It's going to be Clan McGregor versus Grant's. Now, Clan McGregor is half the price. Well, no, that's not right. It's 50% less. It's half the price off. Not, you know what I'm saying? It's half the full price off. I don't care what it is. I'm telling you right now, Clan McGregor is way better than Grant's. It has smokiness. It has some interesting characteristics, even some waxy notes. Strange. So my prediction, Clan McGregor, the underling, the cheapo from Grant's, is going to beat Grant's. We'll see. Time will tell, but I've already made a preemptive call on it. If I'm wrong, I'll live with it, but I know I'm not going to be wrong. It just doesn't get any better. It just stays rough. Oh. All right. I'm not. Okay, let's look at the comments, then we out of here. This is an unfair, Kevin Johnston said, this is an unfair taste challenge. Poor Grant's. It is unfair. But too bad, you know. Liberace didn't like Linda Ronstadt. They might have hung out together. I don't know. But he probably didn't like her the way I liked her. But anyway, I've tasted both before. Granted, only once for Johnnie Walker Blue Label, but I definitely agree with the decision. Thank you, Jason Schumacher. I'm not rich, and I don't ever think I will be, says Kevin Johnson. It's a relative thing. You can be practically wealthy, you know what I'm saying? Wealthy in a practical sense without debt. It's achievable. It's difficult. Difficult. If you're married, you got to have both married. You got to have the husband and wife on the same page. If you're not on the same page, it's not going to work. I'm talking about getting rid of debt. Probably nothing's going to work. But you got to, if you got a spendthrift and the other one is tight with money, it's going to lead to a lot of conflicts because the spendthrift can be problematic. They think a credit card is magic, you know, and they're just profligate with their spending. You know, they just want to buy everything. Do I know people like that? Yeah, most people I know are like that. You know what I'm saying? I know I never will be. I am going to be getting a large inheritance, but that won't make me rich, quote unquote, rich. Yeah. Inheritance helps. North Life Hollywood says, laughing out loud. I agree, Ryan. Credit cards are dangerous. They're like fire. They're useful, but dangerous. Fire is useful, but you can burn your house down with it, burn yourself up. Credit cards can be useful. I use them as a useful thing. You know, I just pay them off every month. So do I ever pay what you call interest? No, never. I mean, like one time I forgot to pay, some, a nominal fee or whatever. But if you have a house note and you can afford it, and more than likely you can if you just start budgeting, pay $300-400 extra every month on that note. You'll gobble it up. And just tell the bank, they'll do it anyway, but just tell them, I want this applied to the principal. And then your principal drops, which makes your whole interest payment drop. So you could save literally tens, 20, 30, 40, 50, who knows how many thousands of dollars by just paying off that house note fast. Pay, pay, pay. It's worth it. Delayed gratification is worth it. People that have to be satisfied right now end up being satisfied never, actually. It's like a hamster in a cage running on they're running in that treadmill. They don't make any progress. So that's it. Grants, the clear loser. But, I don't feel too bad for grants, and let me tell you why. Yeah, okay, Johnnie Walker Blue Label, that's a mismatch. Granted, I'll concede that. But we knew that already. But look, Grants has been doing badly against Highland Mist, Piper Dean. I'm talking about $6.49 bottles. Grants is $21.99, more than likely $23.99. I'm talking about for the big bottle, the big, the handle. Oh, so it's $15.99 for the regular. If I'm paying $15.99, why is this whiskey getting beat up and slapped around by $6.49 what some people would call rot gut scotch? You know what I'm talking about. Highland Mist that's as cheap as it goes, $6.49. Highland Mist easily beat Grants. Easily beat it. And it's over half the price. Over half the price. So I really don't have any sympathy. I have no sympathy, actually. All right, that's it. We got to call it up. Delayed gratification is a hallmark of intelligence. That's right. There's a lot of stuff going on in America today with social commentary or whatever. But what I tell people to do is use empirical evidence. You know what empirical evidence is? It's not what people tell you about. It's what you observe. And if you use your powers of observation, you will understand many things about the world. So I don't need people to give me a talk. We don't need to have a discussion about this or that. I might have somebody come to me and say, you need to have this discussion about, a certain topic, whatever you may want to entertain in your mind at this particular time. I think you know what I'm talking about. And I would tell them, no, I don't need a lecture from you, because that's what your discussion means, giving me a lecture where you tell me this is what you need to know. I would come back with, let me tell you something, get this straight. I use empirical evidence. I know what I see. And what I see makes more impact on my thinking than what you tell me. Anyway, this is a perfect example. I didn't go with the hype or an article on an online forum. I used absolute observational evidence. I smelled them. I looked at the appearance. I smelled them. I tasted them, and I evaluated them. This is what we use in the real world, empirical evidence. Ronald, you are very wise. I try to be. I don't know if I'm very wise. Highland Mist, haha. Yeah. So Highland Mist basically abused Grants. It was kind of a sad scene. Anyway, that's it. Going on too long. Thanks for watching. Now I'm going to walk half a mile in this nice, humid heat.